Oh my God. Talk about perfect timing. I was just about ready to make a video for you. No kidding. Jeez. I'm John Zidar, aka the Stock Wizard. This is On Top and Hot, where we like to focus in on hot penny stocks. That's because I'm a day trader and I primarily trade stocks under $5 every day. And I'm always looking for a hot penny stock to share with you. One where we can both cash in and make money. Well, last week I shared with you American Rebel Holdings, ticker AREB. This is an American company that makes safes for gun enthusiasts. They make gun racks, gun holsters. They also make a light beer here in America. Well, we were looking at it not because of any big catalyst or news that had come out. We were looking at it because they were doing a reverse stock split. What? That's not a catalyst. No, it wasn't. But the company had a very special feature involved with this. They said if you had at least 100 shares or more, after the reverse stock split, you would have no less than 100 shares. Let me show you, folks. They had a piece of news that came out one day before the reverse stock split to let us know all the details. And I'm going to share all the details because right now you've got two questions on your mind. Where are my shares and where's the money? Because the way we expected this to play out, if you buy 100 shares before the reverse stock split at $1 a share, that's $100 for 100 shares. After the reverse stock split, your 100 shares are not touched, but the price jumps up 20 times, $20. Well, shouldn't your 100 shares now be worth $2,000? Is there any other math that we could consider? Not that I'm aware of. But there's been a lot of controversy out there about this. A lot of people think I'm off my rocker. Others are waiting to see the money. Well, where are the shares? Because the reverse stock split just happened and we're all left with 5 shares. Where's the money? So we're going to answer those questions best we can right now. And this is a piece of news that came out the day before the reverse stock split, giving us as much details as they could, but they didn't give it all to us. So this is what they tell us, and I'm going to focus in on the key details here. First off, each investor's overall ownership remains the same in dollar terms. So what that means is if you own $100 worth of stock, regardless how many shares you had before, you're still going to have $100 worth of stock afterwards, regardless how many shares you have. So you might have 100 shares worth $100. You might have 5 shares worth $100. What changes is the price of the stock. Right, we agree with that. We're all on the same page. Okay, so October 1st, they tell us they had just a little over 11 million shares outstanding. They are going to do the reverse stock split of 1 and 20 before the 100 share protection is applied. That's very important. Follow along with me here. After the reverse stock split, they're going to have just a little over 500,000 shares. Now they're going to do the roundup protection. The company is going to get the help of the CEDE and the DTC and their transfer agent. These are the people working behind the scenes with the shares. They're going to check the records, see who is owed what, and how many shares they have to distribute. They figure they're going to be putting an additional 1 million shares on the market. So we'll have about 1.5 million shares in the float, which will be super duper low. Now, this is where you've got to not get confused. The roundup shares are expected to be distributed within approximately 10 business days after the reverse split. So right now you had 100 shares. They just did the reverse stock split. You're left with 5. Probably says they were an average of $20 a share now. Well, these extra shares, 95 of them, should come to you within the next 10 days. However, everybody has to do their job for you to get your benefit. Once the DTC and CEDE do their job, they're going to give notifications to every single broker out there, including your broker, and tell them, you have to give so-and-so this many shares. It will be up to your broker then to give you those shares. If you don't get your shares, don't blame the company. Go to your broker. Call them and ask them, where are my shares? You're supposed to have them back. All of the information in this talks about just that, how the shares are going to break down and when you're going to get your shares and how many shares you're going to have. you're going to be left with 100 shares. Right now you've got 5, you got 95 more coming. Great, great. That answers question 1. Where are my shares? Now we want to know, where is the money? Now, while I was doing my due diligence, I discovered this company's had quite a few reverse stock splits in the last few years. This year alone, they've already had 2. They had one back in March of this year, 1 in 25 reverse stock split with that same 100 share shareholder protection. So I figured, well, there you go. All I got to do is go look at the information, go over to Twitter before this split, after the split, see what happened. Well, this is kind of strange. It's the exact same boat, but there was nothing going on. Nobody was talking about an extra 2,500% gain if you buy 100 shares and they let you keep 100 shares. Not mentioned. Nowhere. Not once. And it is the same thing. Even more curious is after the reverse stock split, there was no mention of anything strange going on there. They're not talking about the shares. They're not talking about money. So for some reason, it is a void of information. Even though it's already occurred, I still don't know how it's going to play out. And to be completely honest, I'm a bit confused because right now the stock's price is $10.47. I got 5 shares they say are an average of $20 a share roughly. Well, if I'm going to get 95 more A common shares, not restricted shares, not a preferred share, just your regular old common share, I'm going to have 100 of them. Can I sell every single one of them for the price of $10.47? Shouldn't I be able to make over $1,000 on my 100 shares? If there's any other math here that I'm missing, somebody please explain it to me because I don't get it. But we're going to find out here. In less than a week, we're going to have the rest of our shares coming into our portfolios as long as our brokers give them to us. They don't have any holds on them. You can sell them as soon as you get them. So that's going to be the telltale sign. 100 shares sold at what price is going to be how much money we made, basically on a $100 investment. I'm still waiting to see this play out. Now, the extra bonus here is that when they did have that reverse stock split back in March, the stock went crazy, jumping 600%, 1,800%. Even though you can't trust the numbers, you can trust the chart. You can trust the percentages. And that's what I want to share with you right now. So we're going to chart ticker AREB on my free trading platform, Thinkorswim, which you can only get from Schwab. We've got American Rebel opened up to a 1-day, 1-year chart. And as you can see, she has been in a downtrend the entire year. And if she wasn't falling, she was just flat, not doing a whole lot of anything. Now, what's really messed up about this chart are the numbers. Every single one of these reverse stock splits multiplies the entire chart by that ratio. So this reverse stock split we had October 3rd was a 1 in 20. If the high, September 24th, was $1, it now reads $20 as the high because of that 1 in 20 reverse stock split. And anything before this reverse stock split of 1 in 25 has been multiplied times 25 and multiplied times 20, which is probably how we get to a 52-week high of $1,947, right? So yeah, all the numbers are wrong, but the chart is right. We can count on that. And she has been in a downtrend. Right now, it looks like she's setting up for a 200 squeeze. We could be getting something out of that. But what we need to look at is this reverse stock split right there, because a lot happened here with that super duper low float. I'm going down to the 1 hour, 1 day, so we can see what happened here. Now, you can see we were in a downtrend. Our 200-day MA was falling. Price was underneath it. Everything was falling. It was right in this area here that she starts leveling out and going flat, which is where we have our breakout. So let's not confuse the low float as being the only reason why the stock is running here. She is running because it is time to break out when that 200 MA goes flat. She's falling right there. Right here, she goes flat and she breaks out. Now, coincidentally, we just had a reverse stock split here, a 1 in 25. We've got about 500,000 shares. They put another million on to cover for their protection. 1.5 million. We're off and running. Whatever the price is here, I don't know. They're telling me it's $20 and it ran up to $174. I don't know what the prices were, but the percentage is the same. It was a 650% run that day right there, folks, when it went flat and she had that super duper low float. A day went by without anything really happening. The next day she took off from what we're reading as about $80 all the way up to $453. Okay, forget the numbers. Let's just look at the percentage. That was 1,900% gains from down here. What a rip. Then she came back down to the 200. She bounced off of that for a few days, crashed that, and she fell down here to this low, which right now is reading $30, and she's been going sideways most of this time. Now I want to point something out. You see my lines here. We've got a red line. That is the bottom where the run started. The blue line is our 600% gain, and the green line is our 1,900% gain. So you know what each line means, because when I come all the way down here, you can't see none of that, folks. All of that is gone. There's our red line, and we're below that. We are below that way down here, now at $11, when she was roughly at $20 after that reverse stock split. She just lost about 50%. Now let's come on down to our regular hour chart. I want to see what she's looking like. So as you can see, she was climbing before the reverse stock split. A lot of speculation. Maybe I caused some of it. Speaking about a 2,000% gain, which we're still not sure is not going to happen. We had a big bounce right here. She went from the old new price, I don't know, $14 up to $25. It wasn't that price back then. That was before the reverse stock split, so we got to divide by 20. So that's going to be like 50 cents up to $1.10. Something like that, 50 cents to $1.10. She came back down, took off after the reverse stock split, and now she's way the heck down here because everybody only got 5 shares. Nobody got extra money. Everybody's pissed off. They're selling their stuff at a loss, not understanding what's going on. Just slow down, folks. Let things fulfill themselves. We've still got 95 shares coming, or whatever you've got coming, in about a week. Let's see what happens when you get your 100 shares. Let's see what price you're allowed to sell your 100 shares for. Shouldn't you be able to sell them for whatever price is on the chart? Even if it has fallen 50% from $20 all the way down to $10, shouldn't we be able to sell our 100 shares at $10? Even if it falls some more, even if this goes down to $5 by the time my shares finally get to me, because nobody understands what's going on. Can I sell my shares at $5? Well, of course I can. Why can't I? And when everybody gets their shares, maybe the stock starts going back up. When everybody realizes, hey, this is better than I thought it was going to be. I don't know, folks. This is still a mystery to me, a mystery to you, and I think a mystery to most of us. And we're not sure how it's going to play out until we all have our shares and see what we can do with them and see what the price is at. I'm still excited. Can't you see that? I may be confused, but I am excited. So hang in there with me, folks. Let's see what happens next Monday. Not tomorrow, next Monday. We'll talk to you then, okay? Remember, folks, the more you know, the more you're going to grow. See ya.